4th and goal to go to the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before we get started, just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below, maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, Joe Shane, he said, wouldn't mind trading back. He's taking offers. He wants more at-bats and all that. I saw a couple articles. One was by Peter King. Yeah, obviously, usually anytime Peter King writes an article, it's usually a very good read. And there was another one. I forgot who it was from, but I'll leave links in the description box if you want to check them out. But I was reading the articles, and I mean, as far as trade back, why it would make sense for the Giants, why it would be advantageous to the Giants. There's quite a few reasons. I mean, obviously, it's easy to just say, yeah, just trade back. That's all you got. That's all you got to do, right? It's not that easy. It takes two to tango. Okay, and it has to be, both teams have to feel like they're getting a fair exchange. I remember Dave Gettleman when they had the second pick, and he took Saquon Barkley, 2018. And I remember after that, one of his press conferences, somebody asked him, did you field any offers or anything like getting calls at all about maybe trading the pick away? And Dave got him. And he said, yeah, but I mean, they called up and they want to give you like a bag of donuts and this and that, it was like that. I mean, it's got to be fair, Now, he didn't say who called him. If it was more than one team, he didn't say what each team offered him, and you're never going to know. But, but I'm saying, it has to be a fair exchange. I mean, both teams, need to, in their head, feel like, okay, yeah, that's fair. The Giants don't want to get screwed over. I mean, they don't want to give away pick number 5 for, if somebody's coming from the pick number 22. I mean, the Giants don't want to go back to number 22 and get an additional third rounder or maybe another third or something like that. No, I mean, that's going to cost you, what I mean? So it's got to be, I mean, you're talking about the future of the franchise, I mean, you're trading back from like 5 or 7 into the teens or 20, I mean, you better get some nice compensation, But also, I mean, likewise, I mean, the other team, if they're trading from 15 or 20, whatever, moving up there, obviously, understandably, they don't want to give up too much either, The one thing, especially about this class here, is that, like, a lot of times, in the past, when it was like a good quarterback class, which this one isn't, I'll go over that a little bit in just a minute or two here. But, say you're like number 2, right? And, the first team, you know who they're taking, right? The pick number 1 is, the quarterback. But then there's like 2 or 3 other quarterbacks that could, really good. And the team who owns pick number 2 doesn't need a quarterback, right? So I mean, they're up for trade, So then you got teams coming from the picks 9, 10, 15, whatever, wanting to jump up maybe to number 2 to grab that franchise quarterback. You can maybe ask for a little extra premium, because it's a quarterback, But I said, but this year, for the most part, it's not really like that. So if somebody's trading up, that there might be a tackle they want, or maybe Thibodeau might be there, or somebody fell in love with Hamilton, or somebody like that, and they might, right? But I mean, in the past, I mean, unfortunately for the Giants, I mean, because the Giants would be set up really nice, having 5 and 7 if this was a really good quarterback class, like it would be like maybe next year. But I mean, the Giants might be set up really, really good, you know. So it's not always easy. Just trade the pick. That's all you gotta do. Yeah, cool. It's it's not that easy. Especially this year, it's kind of a little lackluster in the quarterback talent. Now next year would be a great year for the quarterbacks. So if the Giants, if they could somehow maybe stockpile some picks for next year, and if next year if Daniel Jones ain't the real deal and they don't re-sign him, they'll have Tyrod Taylor for another year. And they could maybe stockpile some picks, and if they need a quarterback, maybe they might have the ammo they can move up. And not only that, if they get an extra pick or maybe an extra first-round pick next year, they might have 2 first-round picks, and then they can throw in their first-round pick for 2024, maybe if they had to. To move up, whatever, to get a quarterback that they want. Because you're looking at Kafka and Dable. Those guys might be foaming at the mouth to get a couple of those quarterbacks for next year. And then the beauty of that is that if we don't re-sign Daniel Jones, he would be a free agent. He would be somebody else's, I don't want to say headache, but he would probably sign him maybe as a backup with somebody else. Wouldn't be with the Giants, but you have Tyrod Taylor there, a good, experienced, smart, intelligent quarterback. That can man the ship for a year. I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl, but I'm saying, but if you brought in a quarterback, if we had to draft a rookie quarterback and he had to sit behind Tyrod Taylor, say for the year or whatever, Tyrod Taylor is a good man for that job, without question. So, But if they could stockpile some picks, that would be, for next year, that'd be fantastic. Or even if they stockpile the picks for next year and they don't need a quarterback, we got lots of holes to fill. And if you can do that, especially get some first-round picks and you control the guys for 5 years, and even that, then after that, you could franchise tag them for a couple of years too. So, it would be really advantageous. because the amount of holes the Giants have, they could use as many picks they can get. Now, trading back obviously lowers the cap hit, which for the Giants this year, because picks number 5 and 7 this year, combine the two, is going to cost the Giants about $11.7 million. So the two guys, first rounders, are going to be close to $12 million, which is basically almost like what James Bradbury might say if we were to trade him or let him go or whatever. So, two guys, $12 million, right? Likewise, if they pick number, say, 32, the last pick in the first round, that guy would only be worth $2.335 million. All right. So, and then obviously if they traded back and they got another first round, or late in the first round they got like a second round or something, obviously that second round would be even cheaper as well too. So especially for this year when we're so cap strapped, for cash, if we could, maybe trade back, save some money, and then maybe get some picks for next year when we have, next year, we could, have possibly $100 million, if not more, in salary cap money next year. So the Joe Shane wants more at bats. All right. So with the roster the Giants have, picking up some more first rounders, second rounders, and third rounders would be absolutely fantastic. Now, going back to quarterbacks, right? Well, I was reading one of these articles. It's Malik Willis, all right? Now, he's a kind of work in progress, all right? He's got some really good things going on there, but some of it's like his footwork needs to be worked on. There's things that could be worked on. If you got somebody that can, teach them and all that and everything, Malik Willis could possibly be. If you got one of these coaches, they might look at him and like, whoa, look at that, look at this, look at that, wow, that dude is gifted. And then you look at his footwork, it's like, yeah, that stinks. But we can fix that, Look at that. Look what he's releasing the ball. No, that's not good. But we can fix that. You know what I mean? I mean, if he's looking at, some of the things you can't teach. Just not maybe their height and this and some things you can't teach. So if there's a coach that falls in love with Malik Willis, right? And I gotta have it. You don't know. Somebody might wind up jumping up and wind up trading him. So some team sees the upsides at him. Perhaps they might want to, trade down in front of, say, Carolina or maybe the Falcons, right? Now, Atlanta's just signed Marcus Mariota. Now, if he's been in this league this long, okay, sorry. I mean, is he, a decent quarterback, this, that? Yeah, but I mean, I just don't, I think they signed to a 2-year deal. Okay, so I mean, so you have him under control for 2 years. I mean, you notice they didn't bring Marcus Mariota in and sign him to a 6-year, $180 million contract. Didn't happen. 2 years. And I don't even know what they got. Maybe they can get out after the first year. Who knows? So, I mean, the Falcons might be looking for a quarterback. All right? And you got the Seahawks at number 9. I think they got Drew Lock. Yeah. If Drew Lock's been in the league this long, I mean, it hasn't been a super long time, but, if the Broncos, okay, aren't high on them, sorry. Seattle's going to be looking for a quarterback, too. So, I mean, so you got Atlanta at number 8. You got the Seahawks at number 9. The Texans at number 13. Now, I don't think, there's possibility they could use a quarterback. I don't know if they're going to be crazy enough to take a quarterback at number 3. I think that would just be stone cold crazy. However, right, if they get to number 13 and all of a sudden, Malik Willis is there and they might have the ammo with pick number 13 and maybe a first rounder from next year and maybe another pick or something like that, they could jump up maybe to pick number 7 or pick number 5 if they want. If they get somebody. They could take a Kwanu or Neal, if whoever's there, maybe at number 3, and then get their quarterback, with the 13, to trade up to the Giants at number 5 or number 7 and get their quarterback. So you'd have their tackle, and they would wind up having, and they'd have their quarterback. So that, not there. The Saints, they just signed Jameis Winston. I think it was, once again, 2-year deal. If they were that, this is the man. Once again, 6 years, $180 million, $120 million, stone cold guaranteed. Nope, didn't happen. 2 years, I think it is. So, I mean, once again, James Winston, and Peyton's not the coach there no more. All right, so, I don't know about, James, he can throw the ball. Absolutely. He could throw touchdowns. He can also throw some interceptions, still. So, is he the answer? I don't know. I said they just might be looking for a quarterback. Who knows? Carolina, as crazy as this is, Carolina just might want to trade up to number 5 with the Giants. Why? Well, because they can go from 6 to 5, and it wouldn't cost them that much. Plus, they can jump from 6 to 5. Right? Wouldn't cost them that much, and that would prevent anybody back there from jumping in front of them to get into number 5. Plus, I said, and then the Giants would move back. The perfect thing about that for the Giants would move back one spot, get I don't know what it would be, maybe an extra 3rd rounder, just thrown out there. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't look at the charts or not like that. But say picking up a 3rd rounder, going back to number 6, getting another 3rd rounder, and knowing that there's a good chance that the reason why they jumped up one was to get a quarterback. Giants don't need a quarterback. So whoever the Giants, say Thibodeau's there at number 5, well, they got to feel pretty decent that they're going to move back to number 6 and Thibodeau's still going to be there at number 6. Or if Hamilton's there, move back to number 6 and Hamilton's still going to be there. Why? Because they feel pretty comfortable that the reason why Carolina jumped one spot was to take Malik Willis. So nobody else jumped in front of Carolina to take a quarterback. So that might happen. You never know. Crazy things happen in the draft. Crazy things happen. You don't know. Because when you're talking about a quarterback, toughest position in all sports. If you can get one, that's right. you're good to go for 10 or 15 years. Right? Now you can really start building a team. All right, so anything's possible. Now the Giants were, really looking to put off, the instant gratification of a high first-round draft pick. Then you got a couple other teams out there. You got the 49ers have no. I mean, if one of these teams wanted to jump up, or another thing, if the Giants traded back and one of these other teams here wanted to jump up to where the Giants, it's a possibility. 49ers have no picks in the top 60. The Raiders have 0 picks in the top 80. The Rams have 0 picks in the top 100. Denver has 0 picks in the top 60. So, I mean, but Denver has no top picks in the top 60, but after that, in the next 60, they got 5 picks, right? So a team like the 49ers, maybe the Rams, who might be like one guy away from a trip to the Super Bowl. I mean, because you got to look at it like with the Rams, right? They're Adam Whitworth, gone. They just lost Von Miller, right? So, I mean, say Thibodeau's there. Say McVay's there, the coach. He's like, oh, man, if we can get Thibodeau, we lost Miller. We lost Von Miller. If we can get Thibodeau, right, we could be good. Our defense will be back where it was at before. Man, we could be good to go. Let's talk to the Giants. Say the same thing maybe with the 49ers. If they, I don't know, whatever. If the 49ers wanted a corner, say Sauce Gardner. Right? Oh man, if we can get Sauce Gardner, our defense would be set. We got a good shot at making the Super Bowl. Or the 49ers linebacker. Lloyd is there, right? And they say, oh, if we can get him, man, we'll have a good chance to go to the Super Bowl. Or an offensive lineman, or maybe Thibodeau or somebody, maybe at number 7. Say for some reason the 49ers might want to jump up. Right? As I said, the Raiders, they might want somebody to go with maybe Thibodeau to go with Crosby, right? Then they have the 2 edge rushers. What a fantastic edge rushing crew they have, right? I'm saying the same thing. I mean, said the Rams lost Whitworth, right? I mean, say Neal is there, number 5, Kwanu, and they said, man, if we need somebody, we got to get somebody to protect Stafford. We got to get somebody. Kwanu's the man. He's there at 5. Let's call the Giants. See what we can do. Yeah, right. And I mean, something like that with those teams, all right, you have to put off because you're not getting a first rounder from them this year because they don't have any first round. For some of these teams don't have picks in the first 2 rounds. So, you would get maybe a 3rd rounder from one of them, and then next year you would wind up picking up, you might have to pick up a first rounder in 2023, a first rounder in 2024, a second round. I mean, so you got to put off the instant gratification, but there's always a possibility. You never know. I mean, because if like the Rams, if they want to return back to the Super Bowl, they might be like one guy. They might want to replace Von Miller. They might want to replace Whitworth with somebody really, really good, and somebody in the top 10 might be of their liking. They might want to do that. I mean, the Rams, as we say, they have total disregard for their draft picks. One of these days, it might bite them in the ass, but so far it's not. I mean, they're just getting rid of their draft picks and they're getting guys, and it's working for them. Good for them, but somewhere along the line, it might want to bite them in the rear end. So if Shane puts out the word, obviously, he might get some calls. A trade scenario that I saw from PFF. All right, it was an article. All right, went something like this: the Saints trade with the Giants. All right, the Saints get the Giants pick number 7, and the pick 146 was the Giants' 5th rounder. So the Giants give up pick 7 and 146, which is their 5th rounder. Okay, the Giants in return get pick 18 from the Saints, and they get pick number 100. I saw 100. I also saw the Saints have 101. So it's either pick 100 or 101. You get 2 different stories from 2 different sources. But so the Giants get, which is a late 3rd rounder. So the Giants get pick number 18. They get a late 3rd rounder. They also get the Saints' 1st rounder from next year, and they get the Saints' 3rd rounder from next year. So they're going to trade away their pick number 7. They'll get 2 firsts and 2 thirds. And they have to give away the 5th round pick too. So I'm not whoopie-do. But something like that. Give away a first, you get 2 firsts and 2 thirds in return. That's something certainly to think about. And this will allow the Saints to jump in front of the Seahawks, who might quite possibly, be looking, as I said, for a quarterback. Because if they got Drew Lock, I'm not. I think they're going to be looking for a quarterback as well, too. So you never know. You absolutely never know. Now, it's tough to get a lot of good depth. Obviously, if you don't have a lot of picks. Now, obviously, the more picks you can get, the more quality draft, more quality depth you can have that without going hog wild crazy in the free agency and spending. The best thing to do is get a lot of picks, get the guys in there, develop the guys, teach them, develop them, and keep them here and pay them. Especially if you can get 4th and 5th rounders, they don't cost you a lot of money. And if they're not superstars and they're just good quality depth, when it comes to re-signing them, they're not going to cost you a fortune, right? Plus, if you have a lot of picks, and you miss on one, or say you have like 10 or 11 picks, and you want to miss on a couple, say like the pick 6 and the 6th and 7th round, or the 5th, 6th, and the 7th rounder, don't pan out. Well, if you had 5 or 6, 7 picks in the first 4 round, they worked out. Okay, so the couple that didn't. But if you only have like 5 picks and 3 of them don't work out, you went the whole draft and you only got 2 guys. That's not good. You can't have that, So that is, what the Patriots have done for years. They just try to basically get rid of their first round, and try to accumulate as many picks as they can, right? Of course, it doesn't hurt to have Tom Brady as your quarterback. Bill Belichick is your coach and Tom Brady is your quarterback. But the Patriots have done that for a long time. They just try to, if they can, to get something for their first rounder or whatever, get some later round picks that, some good quality depth that's cheap, and that's worked for the Patriots for the longest time. So, for him to get more bats would be, absolutely fantastic. Honestly, I think if the Giants can trade back and get more picks this year, for either this year or next year, I think that just might be the best bet for the Giants. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!